I know we're supposed to, try not to upset anybody, but damn, man.
Well, it was an embarrassment. I will say I agree with you, Anna. It was pre-planned because former ambassador to the UN, Susan Nation, said on MSNBC there is no question this was a setup. That a vice president generally does not speak in those moments without the Susan Rice without the approval and of the president. So President Trump knew that J.D. Vance was going to do that, and I think it really took a turn when Zelensky, with his bravery and with his courage, said to J.D. Vance, "Have you ever been to Ukraine?"
No.
So he embarrassed the bully. And what happens when you embarrass a bully? They have a tantrum and they react that way. And
in a recent episode of The View, co-hosts Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, and Ana Navarro expressed their outrage over the contentious meeting between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and US leaders, including President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. The discussion centered on the perceived disrespect and hostility exhibited towards Zelensky during his visit to the United States. Sunny Hostin criticized the conduct of Trump and Vance during the meeting, labeling it as a pre-planned attack on Zelensky. She referenced former UN Ambassador Susan Rice's assertion that such coordinated actions between a president and vice president are typically orchestrated, suggesting that the confrontation aimed to undermine Zelensky's position and bolster Russian interests. Ana Navarro echoed Hostin's sentiments, drawing parallels between Zelensky's attire and that of historical wartime leaders like Winston Churchill. She argued that criticizing Zelensky's military uniform was a superficial attack, diverting attention from the substantive issues at hand.
We were talking about Ukrainian President Zelensky's debacle at the White House.
Yeah, first of all, I think this was all staged and this was all prepared. Because the minute Zelensky gets off the car, Donald Trump makes an issue of how he is dressed.
Yeah.
Well, you know who else showed up during a war dressed in uniform during World War II? Winston Churchill. I think we have the picture. And nobody said anything. I think that is a red herring because, and I mean, you know what he's wearing? What he's wearing because he is representing people suffering, because he is representing a country at war.
Navarro emphasized that Zelensky's choice of attire symbolized his commitment to his nation's struggle and resilience. Whoopi Goldberg expressed her frustration over the administration's approach to the meeting. She highlighted the bravery demonstrated by Zelensky in standing up to what she described as bullies, referring to Trump and Vance.
This is a leader of a sovereign nation, and you are doing theater with him because you're trying to show that you're the hard guy. But I don't think anybody wanted you to be the hard guy. I don't think you asked anybody how they felt, how people who voted for you. You didn't ask them how they feel about what you're doing. You didn't ask them if they want to be operatives of Putin's government. You haven't asked that. And I'm sorry, I do stand with you, Zelensky, because you've been fighting, your country's been fighting, and you've been doing it on your own, and you've been getting help, but I stand with y'all, because nobody should ever be able to come into your country and say, this is my country.
Goldberg underscored that the hostile reaction from the US leaders only served to embarrass the nation on the global stage. The co-hosts collectively agreed that the administration's behavior during Zelensky's visit was not only disrespectful, but also strategically detrimental. They argued that such actions could potentially weaken the United States' alliances and inadvertently strengthen adversarial positions, particularly Russia's. The discussion underscored the importance of diplomatic decorum and the need for US leaders to support allies facing aggression, rather than undermining them through coordinated hostility.